Brandy is timeless. I think people are realizing her impact because music took a real dip for a minute where there wasn't that quality that she brought. And now it's starting to come back, like people like, Dag, I'm sick of listening to this trash, so let's bring something back. I think that's when they started to see, oh shoot, she's legendary. I think that's what's doing it. Her sound is not going anywhere. Her sound lasts. Singers are like, let me look and listen to Brandy. Her impact is ridiculous, not just with music, but you're talking about a person, I had her dolls. Like, what are we talking about? She let me know that it was okay to look like I look. You're talking about girls that have low self-esteem and you're just being yourself. And it impacted so many of us in ways that I don't think we caught until now. I know I didn't catch it until later.
I was 6 or 7 when I decided to become a Brandy fan. And that was during the sit in my room. And I'm like, wow, I'm doing the same thing this girl is doing. I'm sitting in my room thinking about somebody that I like, and you know, and it's crazy because even though I was 7, I didn't know what love is, but I know what love was, if that makes sense. You know, and I'm like, oh wow, I'm sitting in my room thinking about you, and I can relate to this chick. Brandy came in the era where I was a child, so I couldn't buy my own plane ticket. I couldn't buy my own bus ticket to go here and there because at the time I'm a minor. And my mom would not let me go out of town, you know, by myself. So once I was financially stable and older, I'm like, I gotta make these trips. She was so big back in the day because she was always acting and always doing this and that. She didn't really get to tour as much. So I'm like, well, since I'm older now and I have to go to these concerts, go to these venues, and she has to see my face and know that I'm here for her and I'm here to support her, that I really love her music, I really admire her music and everything. But the connection, I believe, came from when she did Chicago. I saw the show 4 times in New York, 1 time in LA, and 5 times in DC. Then she went back to New York again, and I saw it 2 more times. So it was just always, I just had to be there. I think as a fan, we owe that to her. You know, despite, you know, all the things that she's been through, she needs to see those familiar faces and know people who got her back and know people who's really there for her. And I appreciate that. And every time I see Brandy, I'm like, 'cause she always does meet and greets, and she doesn't have to do that. Any other artist can say, hey, I'm tired, deuces, you know, catch me on Instagram, do whatever. And she really takes the time to get to know us, to appreciate us, and gave us the name Starz because she even said that's how she shines. She is the original B, you know. Some may think differently, but she is the original B. You know, she is your favorite singer, believe it or not. You know, she has that impact on a lot of people. That's why you hear so many artists praise her. It doesn't have to be one of us, because you're gonna like who you wanna like, but when the artists reference you, that's obviously telling you something. When someone gives you the title of the vocal Bible, that says a lot. And the vocal Bible doesn't mean I have to hit a certain range, I have to sing a long note, I have to do a whistle. It's about the texture, you know, the vulnerability in your voice, the versatility. And that's what you call a vocalist. Now, we have a lot of singers that I won't name, because there is a difference between a singer and a vocalist. There's a lot of singers in this industry. Brandy's legacy is definitely going to be someone who will go down in the history of another Aretha Franklin, Whitney Houston, Tina Turner. And you guys just watch out because you haven't seen nothing yet, because she's definitely coming. Happy birthday, Brandy. You are the big 40, still looking like you're 20. Happy birthday. I'm not a singer, so you won't be getting a word from me. I'm not singing at all. But, you know, I'm here, you know, and I'm always going to be here. We all love you. Keep up the good work.
The first time I heard Brandy, I was 7, and it was, I watched the I Wanna Be Down video. I remember sitting down and being like mesmerized just by her beauty and her voice. Brandy's voice is just, I love the emotion in it. I love that even if she's singing about something I've never been through, I can still feel it and I can still relate to it. And that to me is the most powerful thing about her voice. I mean, there's tone, there's her layers, there's her runs, but the emotion is what really kind of hits home for me. I would like to thank Brandy. When Human came out, I was dealing with a lot of depression, the lowest I've ever felt in my life. I was a victim of sexual assault, and I kind of felt like I didn't want to be on earth. And I watched this video, and Brandy was talking about the car accident, and she was talking about how she felt the same way. And that really, like, for her to feel like that and to know how I felt, I connected with her on a deeper level. Even though she doesn't know this, I've never told her that before. She does know about it though, because I did express that to her, but I never told her, like, that made me connect to you, you know, on a deeper level than just being my favorite singer. It's more of like a human connection. Happy birthday, Brandy. I hope this year brings so much happiness and joy, and I think that you are just amazing, and I can't wait to see what God has in store for you this year. I'm looking forward to celebrating all of your accomplishments and going and supporting you as much as I possibly can, whether it's music, film, or TV. I hope this year is the best for you.
Brandy is one of the reasons I kind of feel like I'm still here today, because her music, her voice, it kind of has helped define who I am. And every time I hear her voice, and it's like my favorite voice, I can just hear it out of any singer. I know Brandy's voice, and it honestly just means the world to me. It really does. The first time I was introduced to Brandy is actually a really funny story. So I was probably in like the 4th or the 5th grade, and I finally got a Walkman for my birthday. It was a tape player, and I didn't have any tapes. I didn't have anything at all. I had a Walkman. My mom, she had this big stack of tapes. She loved music. And it was like all this old stuff, and I was like, I don't want any of this. So it was one tape, and it was Brandy's debut album, and she was sitting on the front cover, and it was like the coolest looking tape out of the bunch that she had. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna just take this one. I didn't know who she was. So it was the only tape that I had. So I rode the bus every morning with just this one tape, and I listened to it every day and fell in love with it. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I love her voice. I love her music. I love how it makes me feel. Who is she? So I started seeing her on television on Moesha, and I'm like, oh, this is the same girl that I have this tape. And she's pretty. I love her. I want to get to know her. And ever since then, it's been magical since then. The first time I saw Brandy in concert was in '99 in Detroit. She came to the Joe Louis Arena for the Never Say Never tour with Silk and 702. I was probably like almost in the nosebleeds, but just to be there and experience Brandy, like this is the girl from the tape. This is the girl from Moesha. This is the girl that I see, and I'm actually seeing her, and she was amazing. Like, I remember that concert, my favorite performance was when she did Sitting on Top of the World, and she's like flying all across the arena. It was so cool to me. I was like, oh my gosh, like I have to see her again. This experience was the most amazing experience. Like, I have to hear this girl live every day, all the time, because it's one thing to hear somebody like on an album, like she sounds amazing on the album, but hearing her live, like hearing her do it live, like, oh my gosh, Brandy, she sounded better than the album. In the 90s, it was Brandy. It was Brandy. That's who you wanted to be. She was the it girl. She's still the it girl, but in the 90s, she was the it girl. This was the girl that you turned on your TV and you saw Brandy everywhere. Cover Girl, Wilhelmina, Cinderella, Moesha. She was on everything, every award show. It was Brandy. Like, you can turn on an album today. All these singers, that's a Brandy run. That's a Brandy run. This sounds like Brandy. She inspires so many people, and I don't think that she understands that. If you sit any artist down and you really talk inspiration with them, Brandy is going to come up. Happy 40th birthday, Brandy. Happy 40th birthday. You don't look 40 at all. Actually, you look just the same age as you did when you were on this show, Moesha. You look half your age. You drink from the fountain of youth every day. But happy, 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 happy birthday. I love you.
I remember listening to Never Say Never, and I had to be about 11 or 12, and listening to like Have You Ever and Almost Doesn't Count, and especially Have You Ever, I would cry because I felt it. And I'm like, why am I crying? I've never been in love. I'm 12, 11. I'm playing with Barbie dolls and baby dolls still, crying to my mom and my dad about things that didn't matter. And I'm like, why am I crying to that song? But it was just something about her voice that just made you feel it, even if you didn't experience it yet. Like, I just felt the love and just loving someone so deeply. And I was so confused. Like, why do I feel these things? What is it that I'm feeling? And then as I, got of age, I knew what that love was like, and I knew what it meant because I experienced it and I've been through it. But back then it was so innocent because I was a child, but she just gave you something that you could feel no matter the age, no matter what you experienced in life, no matter where you were. You just felt it. And that's what is different. That's what's amazing. That's what makes her special. Because no one could do that. No one touched me at such an age like she did. Because, I was in a dark space before. I didn't want to live. I wanted to, end my life and just, just not being comfortable with who I am and my sexuality, and just listening to her music, being comfortable enough to come out of the closet to my family and to my friends, and just thinking of everything, and just having this woman that I feel God placed in this world to help save my life. She helped save my life. Like, I watch her, and she gives good advice about, positive thinking and journaling, and I tried those things, and that's now a daily part of my routine. And she helped shape my thought process and change that from becoming insecure and afraid and dark, just really, really dark, to seeing the light and to seeing the good in every situation, no matter if in actuality it's bad. And I just always, try to make sure that she knows how much she means to me and how much she changed my life. There's no one like her. She changed the game. She's an innovator. She's an inventor. She has a sound that a lot try to duplicate and imitate, but they could never do it. She's truly one of a kind, just different. I feel like she's an angel. She's an angel on earth. She truly is. I feel like, God is just letting us borrow her for a little bit. She's here specifically to do a job, and she's doing it. Girl, you about to be 40. 40 where though? You're looking good. You're looking like a snack. Just want to wish you a happy birthday. And I know it's not easy, but you made it, and you deserve to be happy. You deserve to celebrate. And if you're not gonna turn up, I'm gonna turn up for you. I love you.
Brandy is timeless.
Built this love in 24 hours, made it brick by brick by brick. Reached my limit, screaming, give me more power. I cannot quit, won't quit. Oh, don't tell me I can't build Rome in a day just cause he couldn't do it. I took my whole lifetime trying to find my way out. I've been feeling useless. Not gonna love you right now. So strong, don't know how. Can't be torn down.
First and foremost, Brandy, you are the shit. Like, literally, there's nobody who can touch you, like, at all. Like, there's nobody who's touching your vocals. There's nobody who's touching your aura, like there's nobody, oh shoot, I'm about to cry. Seriously, because you've touched, there's so many times like where I've been like so low, and the first thing I do, of course I call my mother and stuff like that, but I go to your music, like your voice is like, it literally heals people. Like, I honestly don't know where I would be without your music, like your influence, your vocal ability, like everything about you, like you're definitely like, you're the shit. You're the shit, like literally. And I pray that you're just in a phenomenal headspace right now. Keep pushing, we love you, and keep going. I love you so much. Happy birthday.
Brandy has always been my favorite singer since childhood. It's like, I wanted to be her, brown-skinned girl with braids. I used to stay with pixies in my head because I wanted to be just like her. Then like, she had a voice of an angel. Songs, lyrical content, could act, could dance, endorsements. She was like the goal that you could make it. And like, I could just remember having the debut album and having Never Say Never on cassette, then getting CDs. I done went through like 5 hard copies of Never Say Never because they got stretched up so much. And it's just like, her music is the soundtrack to my life. Brandy is like the most pure soul I ever met. And it's like, she really cares. She really cares about people. She really cares about her fans. And it's like, she inspired me on so many different levels. She's given me words of encouragement, motivation, and she's given me guidance and tools to use to help me overcome certain things. And for that, I'll forever be in debt to her for that. And it's like, she has a heart of gold, and she's amazing. Her legacy, she's timeless. Her voice is timeless. As she continues to grow in her career, her voice just gets better and better. Her skill, her craft gets better and better. She's always nurturing her gifts and just learning so she can be the best that she can be. I love you. You know, every chance I get, I tell you how much I love you. I'm never going to stop. I'm always going to have your back. And happy birthday, Brandy. Love you.
I think that, I've been a fan of Brandy for so long, since the early 90s. Theater was on in 93. The album was released in 94. And so I think that, being able to meet her and I remember meeting her and she said, I was like, this is like a dream come true. And she said, your dreams are already true. And I just remember her saying that to me, and that's something I stuck with. It's definitely inspired me to continue to do things I wanted to do, like travel the world. I see different things. And I think that, just the realness, the genuineness of it all, I think just who she is as a person has definitely inspired me beyond the music, beyond any talent that God has given her. I'm a promoter to the day I die, 365 days a year, 366 on a leap year. I love everything about her. I think for me, right now she is a living legend, and I think that sometimes, especially in the industry now, we don't give credit to people who paved the way for others. And I think that we live in a microwave society where people think people are just popping up overnight and not realizing all the work that people have put in before them. So for me, I think that in terms of what she did for television, what she did with her Barbie doll, CoverGirl, the Skechers. I mean, there was so many different endorsements and things that you see artists have now that she definitely paved the way for. And to me, I want her to always be remembered for the way that she paved for young artists, but also just a living legend in terms of being able to crack the mold in terms of film, television, music, and different other endeavors also. You are loved, you are supported, you have inspired many from this time and continue to inspire people. You can hear it in people's runs, you can hear people show love. I think that you're about to be 40 years old and you've been giving of your talent longer than more than half of your life. And I think that it's definitely represented in culture. You are part of culture, not just Black culture, but American culture and popular culture. I think that things like Moesha was able to transcend even race in terms of just showing what it's like to be a teenager. I just want to celebrate you every day, but on this day, 2/11, we definitely celebrate you today and wish you a happy birthday and wish you many more as you enter into your 40s.
The first time that I was introduced to Brandy and her voice, when I was about 8 or 9, my older sister, big R&B head, so she loved Boyz II Men, Drew Hill. So naturally, of course, you know, she listened to Brandy too, and she introduced me to Brandy. I just remember wanting to be like Brandy, especially once I got her album, and I remember. Just like the vibe of the CD was, I am who I am. I don't have to be like the other people around me. You know, if you're doing something that I don't want to be involved in, I'm going to keep it moving. And that's kind of when I was that age, and even growing a little older, like moving on to like 12-ish, there were kids and girls that were doing things that I was not interested in doing. I was still playing with my Barbies, wanted to be a little girl. So I just remember really looking up to Brandy and thinking like, okay, if she can take the higher road, then I can too. As amazing as her music is, I think Brandy's legacy is the person that she is and the way she makes other people feel. She is an artist that's unlike any other. She will stand outside until her feet are bloody to meet as many people that come through. Just to go back to Chicago time, she would have another show in the evening, and in the afternoon she would be there as long as there were people waiting in line to see her, whether they even went to the show or not. She would be out there to give them a hug and talk to them, look them in their eye, make sure they got a couple minutes with her. So I think that's her legacy, the person that she is and what she does for others.
So long to all my pain. Good night to my heartache. Goodbye, sorrow. I won't cry no more. I'm leaving tomorrow. Her voice has healed me because, like everyone, you go through bad relationships and everyone is not good to you. And Human, her 6th studio album, it spoke to me. Like, I felt like everything she was singing about was just everything I was going through. And when I listened to it, it just made me cry. I felt like her voice got everything out of me. All the emotions that I needed to get out that was just riled up inside of me, it just came out. And a good maybe like 1,500 times after listening to it. I'm dragging it, but yeah, I listened to that album a lot. And other albums, of course, too, they healed me, but I think Human, I really gravitate more to when I'm like sad and stuff like that. I could just play anything from there. I'll still be sad, but it would just make me feel good, like I can get through it, whatever I'm going through, like just keep pushing, keep fighting, you know? They call her the vocal Bible because she can do it all. Like, she pushes her voices to limits that sometimes she knows she can't even do, but she'll still get there and she'll still do it. Honestly, I've been told that the Bible stands for basic instructions before leaving Earth. And with the vocal Bible thing, I just feel like she's giving you basic instructions on how to sing a song and how to make a song. The layering, the harmonies, the stacks, and just the tone overall, it's just like heavenly. And when she blends everything together, you just feel like you're just high and sitting in clouds. My message to Brandy is never lose your faith. It's always gonna be there. You keep outdoing yourself, and I know you can keep doing it. So don't get discouraged. You have people that love you. I love you so much, and I want you to be the best you can be. I want you to be just that Brandy that was just unstoppable, like you were when you were young. You were just unstoppable, and I just want you to stay that way. No matter the trials, the tribulations that come your way, you are everyone's light, especially your fan base, your stars, your friends, your family. Like, you have a golden soul, and I think that's why people love you so much. Not just your voice, like, you're a wonderful person, and when people see that,
they don't want to lose that. So like, you're a healer. I just want you to keep healing. Keep doing what you love to do to heal people, because that's what you were made to do.
The first time I was introduced to Brandy was Cinderella. I was like 5 or 6 at the time, and my grandma was big on making sure that we saw Black representations of us in those characters that we liked. So I saw, obviously, the Roger and Hammerstein Cinderella, and I was in love, but I didn't know that Brandy and Cinderella were 2 different people. I thought Brandy was Cinderella 24/7. So then in 2004, I was around 9, I got the Aphrodisiac CD. I think my aunt bought it for me, and then that's when I found out that Brandy was a whole separate human being. And then that's when I fell in love with Brandy, the singer. The first time I saw Brandy in concert was November 20th, 2016. So just a little over 2 years ago. It was in Silver Spring, Maryland. I found out just a month prior it got announced. I had just gotten back in the country, and I was dead broke. I had just started working 2 retail jobs, so I didn't really have a lot. And the concert got announced, and I text my dad. I'm like, Dad, please, can you buy me this flight? I'll pay you back. And he bought the flight. Colette actually bought 2 tickets, and I paid her back later. And so then about 3 days before the concert, I stopped being able to eat. I was like so nervous and so anxious. I wasn't really sleeping. I like got new makeup, I got new hair, I got a new outfit. Like, I went all out, and then I took a bus to Chicago, and then I flew to Baltimore, or it was either a bus to Chicago or Atlanta, and then I flew to Baltimore. And then that night before, I stayed in the airport because I didn't have any money to stay anywhere else or to get an Uber out to somebody because they were like hella far. The Uber was like $50. I didn't have it. So I spent the night in the airport. I was able to get on the first bus out to the house at like 7 o'clock in the morning. Got dressed, went to the concert. It was like freezing outside. We stood outside for like 7 hours. And then we got in there, and like the DJ or whatever was on stage, and when it like hit me when they started saying like, "Are y'all ready for Brandy?" And I'm like, I'm about to see Brandy in concert. Like, I had a sign. It said, the sign was like, if you're reading this, it's my first concert. And it was like, #checkmypulse. And it was the most amazing experience. Like, I couldn't dream up what it was like to finally see her in concert and to like hear her sing live. And then to have her at the end of the show when she's shaking hands, like recognize me and joke with me. Like, we had an inside joke. And it was just like, this is not happening to me. Like, this, and I would do it all over again. I would not sleep, not eat. I would go up there dead broke, stand in the cold every single time. She's been like the catalyst for a lot of, inadvertently, not even meaningly, just been a catalyst for a lot of magical or like life-changing moments in my life. And at that point in time, I was 3 months out from having lost my mom. So it was rough, but it was magical. Seeing her like at that time was just, because she had always felt like somebody that spoke my heart for me, didn't even know me, wouldn't know me from a can of paint if she saw me in Walmart. Like, it was like, oh girl, in this hug, I done told you everything that's been going on with me. And like, you've made it better. If it's just for this moment, like, you've made it better. Like, her hugs from day one have just been healing. And then in that trip, she awakened, her creating that trip by being Roxy awakened the dreamer in me. And I started doing a lot of stuff that previously I'd never thought that I'd be doing. Ren, happy birthday. This is 40, and I pray that in your 40th year of life that God just continues to use you, that you continue to submit to His will, that He stretches you and that He imparts new confidence like every day, that you continue to share your humanity and your love with the world, and just thank you for what you've been to me in such a short time. I would have never guessed we'd be here, but here we are, and you know, now you can't get rid of me. We in this for life. Okay, Starz for L. Happy birthday, and I love you so, 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 so much.
Can't nobody do it like Brandy. Like her voice, her runs, her riffs, everything just amazing. Like you can be on, she can be singing on the radio and instantly you know who she is because she has her own unique sound. And one thing I love about Brandy is that she's very humble. She know that, you know, she can sing, but she don't go around flaunting and all of that. And she's just a very humble person, and her voice, I just love it. Brandy is one of the top vocalists in the world that's still living today. She's a living legend. I cannot believe you're about to turn 40, and you don't even look it. Black don't crack. I just want to tell you from the bottom of my heart, I'm rocking with you till the wheels fall off. I wish you many more birthdays, much success, and I love you dearly. Tay.
I've listened to her music, like her studio albums, but to hear it live, it's like, wow. Like, it's different than just hearing it. Like, there's songs that I listen to that now, after I've seen her live, I'd rather sing it the live way than to sing it the regular way because how different it is. Like, normally when people go live and they sing something, they sing it the exact same way. But if you see her in the show, it's different every time. And it's so amazing. When I hear her voice, I just get tingles. Like, it's crazy. It's like, especially on one of those slow songs. And sometimes, every time I hear her sing, I cry because it's like God made this voice, like, how?
Brandy is timeless. Brandy is timeless. Brandy is timeless.